So finally, Coach Chris Hughton has named Ghana's squad for the 2023 AFCON. It's a 27-man squad that doesn't include Thomas Partey, but the likes of Asante Kotoko's Richmond Lamptey have been able to make it to the squad. Well, let's find out from some journalists what they make of Coach Chris Hughton's squad for the 2023 AFCON and where they believe Ghana can reach with this particular squad. Your general thoughts on the 27-man squad that has been made by Coach Chris Hughton?
Well, it's a bit of a mixed feeling for me. Super excited that Lamptey is going to the AFCON. I mean, if you followed him right from Wafa to entire lives to Asante Kotoko, you'll not be surprised. He's been, but for injury, I'm sure he'll be one of Ghana's greatest exports when it comes to football. Super happy for him and the Premier League that we have 3 players going to the AFCON. Fatah has always been there. Soa has always been there. So for Lamptey, it's a big win. A major loss for me would be, Partey not going to the AFCON. Yes, he's injured. Yes, he's not played football for some months now. But based on his quality and experience with the national team, I expected him to be there anyways. Because not just his performance on the field of play, but also the maturity he brings into the dressing room. When things are going very slow for the national team, or south for the national team, you need the experienced players to calm things down. And I expected him to be in the squad, but the coach knows best. Coach I'm sure has spoken to the medical team of Arsenal and him, and thinks that it's a calculated risk for not taking him, based on our history as well. If you go back to 2008, where we took Shule Aliasu and expected him to recover in time to play for us, it never happened. The last AFCON, we waited for Kudus, he never showed up. Wakasu never recovered in time to play for us. So maybe it's a good a decision from the technical team. The end will always justify the means, but I expected him to be there. He's not there. Let's hope that the players who have been given the call-up can represent the shirts and win us our first AFCON in 42 years. I do not think that we have the quality in depth to win it, but this is football. Anything can happen. Zambia won it without getting the favorite tag. Nigeria won it without getting the favorite tag. So maybe, just maybe Ghana can win it. But for me, my expectations are very measured going to this AFCON. But let's see. It's anyone's game at the AFCON.
Expectations are really measured, but where do you think we can make it?
I want us to get out of the group first. Don't forget, the last 2 AFCONs have been very poor for Ghana. The last AFCON, for instance, recorded our worst history in the history of the AFCON. We did not win a single game. So going to the next AFCON, I expected us to get out of the group and take a game after a game.
Looking at our performance lately, do you think we should rise to the occasion, score more goals, and concede less because Ghanaians want entertaining football?
Well, there are ways in playing in tournaments like the AFCON. It's not really about goals. It's not really about playing beautiful football. It's about wins. And looking at our last 10 games, we've struggled to score goals. So I would be measured in terms of expecting a lot more goals from us at the AFCON. But I also expect a very tight defense. If you follow Chris right from his days in the Premier League, you know that he's a very solid when it comes to defensive setup. So I expect a lot more defensive approach to games. 1 goal, 2 goal, tight wins for us at the AFCON, based on our own history and our inability to score goals in games. Inaki has not scored a lot of goals, scored only 1 as a matter of fact. So I don't expect a lot more goals from us, but I expect very tight defense from Chris Hughton and the guys. Slim wins, hopefully we get more wins at the AFCON.
It's not certain. The coach has decided not to risk the team first and foremost and the players as well. So I believe that we have a squad that if they are committed, they will be able to deliver. From what I have experienced and observed from the African Cup of Nations, it is not always about having your top players. It is mostly about a coach finding the balance and players who are committed and ready to play with their zeal and enthusiasm, and also praying for the stroke of luck in 2-3 weeks. That's basically the African Cup of Nations. You don't always have to have your best players available. We've had Partey, we've had Andre Ayew, we have periods of Michael Essien, Steven Appiah, and all of them. We failed to win. So I've seen Zambia, I've seen Cameroon under Hugo Bruce, I've seen Egypt, I've seen so many teams come to the AFCON and perform when lots of the players in the team. I've seen Nigeria under Stephen Keshi in 2013. So, the records are there that you can always have a good team and not perform. You can have a team that is so underrated, you go to the tournament and you creditably exit on a very good note. So this is what I pray for Chris Hughton who I think has very little knowledge of the African game and also at the AFCON, but that's also an advantage for him to learn as fast as he can. We don't have the best of players at the moment, but for Kudus and a few, but we have to rely on experience, commitment, and also adaptation of the players to be able to excel in Ivory Coast. We all pray that we win the trophy. Like I said, if we win the trophy, we don't need to fly the team back. We are going to do a bus parade from Abidjan through Elubo to Accra. That's what we pray for. And I think that it is possible. Ghana at every tournament is possible. And it's good that this time we are not favorites.
Sadiq, just a quick one. We've talked about experience. We've talked about we not having the best of squad. In your realistic expectations, where do we get when you say that, oh, this one, the team is coming?
Well, for this team, a quarter-final appearance will mean they have overdone their expectations. The target should be a quarter-final. That's what Abraham Grant said in 2015. The team was at its lowest ebb. He came in and said, they are just going to do well. We ended up in the final. But for, bad luck, we could have won that tournament. So I think a quarter-final target should be fine because we've exited at around 16. We've exited at the group stages. That's the lowest we can get. So if we get to the quarter-finals, we have to, like you said, realistically, a quarter-final target. But also, it's possible to win.
Well, I think it's a good squad. Most of the players, we've seen them in the squad already. And I love the fact that we are going to see those players and AFCON playing for the national team, because most of the times you need players who know each other so that they could play so well for themselves. If you watch our games, in the international friendlies and then the FIFA World Cup qualifications, you could clearly see that most of these players made it to the final squad. So I think it's a good one for us. And also seeing the local players, 3 local players, making to the final squad is also perfect for me.
What are your expectations? Where do you think we can get with this particular squad?
It's a tough question though, but as a Ghanaian, I will wish that we do our best in the AFCON. It's not easy, and if you are going to select teams that could lift the trophy, you may not mention Ghana's name, but I believe anything at all can happen because it's a football match and then we can pull a surprise. But I hope that we get to the forward and then probably semi-finals or finals will be okay for me. But then I'm not saying that we are going to lift the trophy. We can lift the trophy, but then I'm not saying we are going to lift the trophy.
How much of impact will Thomas Partey's absence be to the team?
He's a senior player and we know his quality, and we believe if he has made to the final squad, we could have added a lot to the team. But here is the case that injury situation won't permit him to join the squad. I believe we are going to struggle a bit, but then we have other players who have been playing in his absence, and I believe those players will live up to expectation and then play so well for the national team. Welcome.
For me, I think it's a very good squad. It's very good in the sense that there seems to be some good balance if you look at experience and youthfulness. So when you're going to a tournament and you have a blend of experience and youthfulness, it's good for the team. Only that the coaches need to work extremely very hard to get that right balance on the field of play. So that is very good. Again, one good thing about the squad also is the inclusion of local players. I've seen Richmond Lamptey, I've seen Abdul Fattah Hamidou, and I think it's good for the national team. With these players and how they have played on the local scene, it increases the marketability of the local league when they go to the international stage. So I think that is also good. However, the absence of Thomas Partey, I think, looks a bit unexpected, considering the fact that recently Partey is coming back from injury. So I was expecting Partey to be named in the squad. But if you listen to the coach and the explanation that he gave regarding Thomas Partey, then you have to understand that it's a cautious decision that they have taken. And for me, I think the absence of Partey will be a blessing in disguise for Ghana. A blessing in disguise in the sense that you are going to have Richmond Lamptey and then Majid Ashimiru, creative players in the middle. If only the coaches will be confident enough to give them that role to play. And trust me, if they are given that responsibility, Majid Ashimeru and Richmond Lamptey will reminisce their days at Wafa and carry the team very, very high. You have already Osman Bukari, you have Kudus Mohammed, and so when you get Richmond Lamptey and Majid in the middle with an Antoine Semenyo and then Inaki Williams in high, up, I think it's a very good squad. Only that, a lot of Ghanaians are still expecting too much from the national team. We are coming back from somewhere, and I think that with what we have, if the coaches get the right blend, we may be able to pull surprises. I don't expect the team to win the AFCON. Trust me, I don't expect the team to win. If the team wins, that is bingo. But if they don't, I expect the team to at least get out of the group stage and then have fun in the rest of the tournaments. But winning the tournament will be a bonus if they are able to do it. Welcome.
So we just heard from some journalists on their thoughts on the 27-man squad named by Coach Chris Hughton and the fact that they believe that Ghana can be able to do better from where we are coming from at the 2021 AFCON, where we ended up being knocked out of the group stages. Well, they expect Coach Chris Hughton and his men to do a yeoman's job. Well, this is where we draw down the curtains for this particular edition. Thanks for watching.